After a testimony like that, I don't know what to say actually, or what to sing, but it's always amazing. About a month ago, we put together the song list, and every now and then we did make a change here and there in the program. But I'm looking at the song we're going to sing right now, and you know that God goes ahead of us. You'll see in a moment. Would you stand with me as we worship God with this song together in light of this amazing testimony? Donnie, thank you for that. Thank you. Lord, you are more precious than silver. Lord, you are more costly than gold. Lord, you are more beautiful than nothing I desire compares with you. Lord, you are more precious than silver. Lord, you are more costly than gold. Lord, you are more beautiful than diamonds, and nothing I desire compares with you. As the music just plays, just take a moment and just tell God how precious He is to you. Just thank Him, just worship Him, just adore Him. There's nothing like you, there's no one like you.
I would just like to acknowledge our past cabinet members, people that have served on the cabinet, and I think if you haven't been on the cabinet before, you don't realize how much work is involved in that and how much of your time is involved in that. So first of all, I just ask these people to stand if they are all here. Andre Wolfart, who has been our immediate past president. He's done a tremendous job at difficult times. He's really structured the ministry and seen to the administration, and that we've got all the guidelines. It was his passion. And that's something that had been lacking for a while, and he'd really done that. And in going forward, that's definitely going to be of enormous value to us to be able to refer back to these guidelines. And I really appreciate that, Andre, and I would really thank you for the hard work. We've been on the cabinet for I don't know how many years, many, many years already. We've come a long way, and thank you for the time that you've spent and your efforts and your resources that you've used for the Gideon ministry. I'd also just ask Dion van Niekerk to stand if he's here. Oh, he's busy at the back there, so I won't pester him, but Dion has been a stalwart as well, always helped us with the audio-visual things. If there's a problem with the computer, everybody just looks at Dion. He's been on the cabinet with me as well for many years, and thank you very much, Dion, for the role you've played, and that we could always count on you. And even now, he's prepared to, outside of the cabinet, unofficially still do a lot of work for us. So we really appreciate you. And then Jan Schoeman. Jan, I think, had to leave. Where is Jan? We all know Jan Schoeman. With him, I've also been on the cabinet for forever. Jan has a heart for the ministry. And you can see when Jan speaks, you can see his heart. We really appreciate you. We've seen your zeal and your enthusiasm in serving the Lord in this ministry. And thank you so much for what you've meant for every one of us and for me in particular. Thank you so much, Jan. And then the ladies, Sonette Legransie, I think they have already left. And Adrie van Straten, is he here? And Bennett Wolfart, I know he's here. And Hester van der Merwe. Bennett has also been a past National Auxiliary President and has worked very hard together with Andre in the ministry, and I really thank her as well. Many times they've hosted me when we had to come to meetings. They've looked after me, and thank you so much for that. I really do appreciate that. So I think we can really give them a hand. And now I have the privilege of introducing to you your new cabinets for the year ahead. And I think we'll start with the Gideons, but please start towards the one side because there are quite a few of you, so we can fit you all in front of the stage. Our new national president is the young man, Andre Du Plessis, the slick dresser. If he can come up. The Gideon vice president is Toby Kotze. The national treasurer is Jaco Pitter. National chaplain is Francois Graaf. And then I'd like to call on our executive director, Christo van der Schuyf. On one occasion in the past, I forgot to call him forward. And the SA Gideon that followed after that, when he printed the names of the cabinet, he left mine out. So I'm not going to do that again. Waar is ek nou? Regional President, Region 1 is Avi Thomas. He's unfortunately in Germany at the moment, so we won't have him here tonight. Region 2 is Corneille. Region 3 is Eben. Region 4 is Wynand. They've all been here, so you know their faces. And then the National Program Coordinators for Bibles is Peter Tolsma. The coordinator for new members will be Gerard de Koning. The coordinator for churches is Rian Stoop. And for the Faith Fund coordinator is Nico van Wyk. En dan die hulpgroeplede. Die hulpgroeppresidente vir die jaar is Elmarie Du Plessis. Die visie-president is Francina Kotze. Die sekretaresse-tesouriere is Kolla Bosman. Die kapelaan is Cecile Smit. Die streekspresidente vir streek 1, Susan Morkel. Streek 2, Riekie Graaf. Streek 3, Marie Jonker. Streek 4, Henriette van der Merwe. En dan hulle nasionale programkoördineerders verlede, is Koers Fourie. En vir Bybels is Riet Groevee. Monica, ekskuus. Drukfout. Kan almal inpas. Kan ek julle net vra vir 'n oomblik om te draai asseblief en na my te kyk? Dit is baie lekkerder om die kant toe te kyk as daai kant. Baie geluk aan elkeen van julle met julle verkiesing hier op die kabinet. En ek hoop regtig julle besef nou al die belangrikheid van die posisie waaraan julle nou verkies is. Dit is verseker nie 'n ereposisie nie. En die van julle wat al lankal op die kabinet is, weet, dit beteken maar net nog werk en 'n groter diensbaarheid en 'n verdere geleentheid om vir die Here te werk. Moenie 'n fout maak nie, ons is besig met 'n geestelike oorlogvoering en ek dink dit raak vir ons al hoe duideliker soos wat die tyd aangaan. En hierdie posisie is definitief nie 'n passiewe posisie nie. En besef dit baie gou, want met ons kwynende bediening het ons nie passasiers nodig nie. Ons het mense nodig met 'n passie om die afwaartse neiging om te keer, 'n passie vir die bediening en bovenal 'n passie om siele vir die Here te wen. En iemand wat bereid is om die ekstra myl te loop, dis die mense wat ons nou nodig het. Want julle sal agterkom dat mens moet jou dag beplan. En dit gaan heel wat beplanning nodig hê om al hierdie aktiwiteite van die kabinet in te pas ook by jou dagtaak. En as regtig net een ding wat 'n mens gaan staande hou in hierdie tyd en dis ons verhouding met die Here. Say yes to a selfless life. Say yes to a Christ-centered lifestyle and say yes to the glory of God regardless of the cost. Be prepared, look, perceive, and take note. Being a good leader is not something that you do for people. It is something that you do with them. And if I can turn to the audience for a moment, you've elected these brothers and sisters this year as your leaders in the ministry. And I would ask you they will have to work with you, but you will have to work with them as well. You'll have to support them in prayer and in doing the work, because when leaders and followers work together and support each other, then they do get to the finishing line. And in our case, the goal is to win as many souls that we possibly can while we are able to for the kingdom. And that's not only a vision 2020, that's an ongoing vision. We have to continue as long as we live, we have that vision to win as many souls for the Lord as we can. Selfridge is the owner of one of the UK's best-known chain stores. I'm sure most of you know that, Selfridges. He noted the following differences between a boss and a leader. He said a boss drives you, a leader shows you. A boss intimidates, and a leader inspires. A boss blames others, a leader tackles the problem together with others. A boss says I, and a leader says we. A boss says go and do it, and the leader says let us do it. So leaders are just ordinary people, but they have an extraordinary ability to inspire. But as leaders in this ministry, firstly, and definitely firstly, you need to live a holy life. You need to live our 7 spiritual goals. You are the example. You are the leaders. We have to adhere to the word and to those spiritual goals. And secondly, you need to inspire. Your passion for the task at hand, your passion for how you approach the task that you have, that ignites the passion in the people working with you. I listened to Navneet when he spoke to the auxiliary, and he said to them, are you a leader? Are you a leader? And then you have to overcome the inertia and inspire the people that are following you. Nothing can light a fire like a blazing flame. And then thirdly, you will have to persevere when you experience difficult times, and you will. That's a guarantee. Persevere despite the obstacles that are put before you. And if you do not persevere, let me tell you a story to try and illustrate what can happen. Many years ago in Atlanta, Georgia, there was a small businessman, and he had a drinks, soft drinks enterprise. And he was making a good living out of that. He was quite happy. His name was Asa Chandler. And then one day, one of his employees accidentally added soda water to the syrup. And suddenly, it had a sparkle to it. And people came from all over to taste this new taste. And they were impressed with this lovely sparkling taste. And that was the beginning of the top-selling Coca-Cola that we know today. Originally, Chandler had this dream of marketing this new cool drink and making millions out of it because people liked it so much. But when he realized how much work was involved to patent it and to build a new factory, then he didn't want to give up his comfortable lifestyle to chase this dream of his, to follow his dream. And gradually he just sort of left it and forgot about it. But one of the people that were there is a businessman with a name of B.N. Thomas. He didn't forget about that. And when he realized that the original guy wasn't interested in marketing his product, he approached him and he said, "Can I buy the patent for this and market this?" And Chandler probably said something like, and I had that dream as well, and I tried, but it wasn't quite worth it. If you feel like trying and you want to go to all that trouble, then do so. But I don't think you're going to be successful. And so it came about that Chandler sold a multi-million-dollar industry for the amount of $1. How many of us have lost touch with our vision, with our dream, and have not persevered? We've lost our first love. We've been discouraged by the world around us. This may not be said of you as leaders in this ministry at this time. Maar God julle regtig die genade gee om hierdie pos te vervul en dit na die beste van julle vermoë te doen met 'n erkenklikheid van julle afhanklikheid van God. En mag dit vir julle ook, soos dit vir my ook was, verrykende geestelike gevolge hê. 'n Mens groei en dis 'n regte voorreg om Here te dien. En laastens wil ek vir u sê, baie alles in gebed voordat julle dit aanpak. Enige pligte, enige besluite, bid vir wysheid. Die Here het gesê as ons wysheid kort kom, dan moet dit vir hom bid. En bid vir hom vir bo menslike wysheid. Julle het ook gehoor Nefniet sê, we do in the natural realm and God will do it in the supernatural. Bid vir sy wysheid en hy sal dit vir julle gee. Nogmaals baie geluk. Nou kan julle weer omdraai en daar sal nou 'n fotosessie wees en vir julle geleentheid hê om die manne en vroue af te neem. Julle kan maar nou vir hulle hande klap, né? As almal klaar foto's geneem het, dan gaan ek maar weer teruggee aan die moderator.
Thank you very much, Brother Rudy. Earlier this evening, I spoke to Brother Kevin and said, "You're now in the home straight." So one final time, Brother Kevin, we would love to listen to what the Lord is installed for us. Thank you very much.
Good evening. want to start by thanking you once again for your hospitality. It's been phenomenal. From the goodie bag that we received, to the painting that we received, to the love we've received, you've really made me and my family feel very, very welcome. I know I speak for Amy when we've just been overwhelmed with the love and support you've given us. There I go. I haven't even started and I'm already crying. So, but we thank you for the welcome you've given us. You're what I would call the Wednesday night crowd. Now, I know that probably doesn't translate, so I'll explain what that is. At least back in the United States, we live in a part of the country that still goes to church sometimes 3 times a week. We'll have a Sunday morning service, a Sunday evening service, and a Wednesday night service. Well, Sunday morning, we live out in the country. We're a rural church.